The Winchester Model 1892 was a lever-action repeating rifle designed by John Browning as a smaller, lighter version of his large-frame Model 1886, and which replaced the Model 1873 as the company's lever-action for pistol-caliber rounds such as the .44-40. History. When asked by Winchester to design an improved lever-action to compete with a recent Marlin offering, John Browning said he would have the prototype completed in under a month or it would be free. Within 2 weeks, Browning had a functioning prototype of the .92. Calibers for the rifle vary and some are custom chambered. The original rounds were the .32-20, .38-40, and .44-40 Winchester centerfire rounds, followed in 1895 by the new .25-20. A few Model 92s chambered for .218B were produced in 1936-38. Rifles in .44-40 proved to be most popular, far outstripping sales of the other chamberings. The Winchester Models 53, 1924, and 65, 1933, were relabeled Model 1892s. Admiral Robert E. Peary carried an 1892 on his trips to the North Pole, and Secretary of War Patrick Hurley was presented with the 1 millionth rifle on December 13, 1932. Famous Amazon explorer Percy Fawcett carried a Winchester 92 on his expeditions, and the famous Jaguar hunter Sasha Seymour also used a short-barreled Winchester 92 carbine, with the bayonet attached. The Royal Navy used 21,000 examples during World War I. 1,007,608 Model 1892 rifles were made by the original Winchester Company. The Depression greatly affected sales of the Winchester 92, and at the start of World War II Winchester dropped production when it retooled for the war effort. Production was not resumed after the war. Model 92 manufacture was resumed in the 1970s by Amadeo Rossi in Brazil, more recently by Chiappa Firearms, an Italian factory, by Browning in Japan, and by Winchester in Japan. In its modern form, using updated materials and production techniques, the Model 1892's action is strong enough to chamber high-pressure handgun rounds, such as .357 Magnum, .44 Magnum, and .454 Casual. Despite being designed for smaller cartridges, the 1892's dual forward locking block action is actually stronger than Browning's rear-locked Model 1894. Popular culture. Although the Model 1892 made its debut after the closing of the American frontier, and the true guns that won the West were the earlier models 1866 and 1873, nonetheless the 92 became an indelible icon of Western mythology through its use in hundreds of motion pictures and television shows, standing in for its older siblings. John Wayne famously carried Model 92s in dozens of films and owned several personally, some with the distinctive oversized loop lever. Other notable screen 92s were those of Chuck Connors in the Rifleman TV series, and Steve McQueen's Mare's Leg in Wanted, Dead or Alive. The Winchester Model 1892 is not limited to film in its media appearances. For example, in the video game Half-Life 2, one notable NPC, Father Gregory, carries one that he has named Annabelle, and he uses it to great effect in the abandoned mining town of Ravenholm, through which the player must traverse. Hollywood studios purchased the 92 in quantity because it was in regular production, until World War II, but looked sufficiently like Old West Winchesters to substitute for valuable antiques, and because in calibers .44-40 and .38-40 it could fire, together with the Colt single-action Army Peacemaker revolver, the standard 5-in-1 blank cartridge. This latter practice mirrored the real cowboys, who found it convenient to carry a rifle and a revolver chambered with the same ammunition. Modern copies. Garrote, Anachua Ycia of Ibar, Spain copied the Model 1892 as Tigre in .44 Largo, .44-40 Win, with a 22-inch barrel, 12-shot magazine, military sights, and saddle ring. Many were made with sling swivels. Production between 1915 to 1937 totaled 1,034,687 rifles. From 1923 on they were issued to various Spanish services including the Guardia Civil. Tigre carbines were exported in large numbers to South American countries, and to the U.S. in the 1950s. Winchester ended production of the Model 1892 in 1941, however, arms manufacturers such as Browning, Chiappa, and Rossi have continued to produce copies. Versions of the Model 1892 have continued to be produced almost continuously since Winchester ended its production run. They range in quality and price from mid-range firearms to highly decorated presentation pieces. Winchester produced limited numbers of the Model 1892 in 1997. In November 2006, Winchester announced the Model 1892 John Wayne 100th Anniversary Rifle, chambered in Win 44-40. Since then, Winchester has offered several versions of the Model 1892. In early 2012, Winchester produced a limited number of large loop carbines in 4 calibers, .44 Magnum, .357 Magnum, .44-40, 44 WCF, and .45 Colt. Winchester Model 1892. Type lever action centerfire rifle. Place of origin United States. Production history. Designer John Browning. Manufacturer Winchester Repeating Arms Company. Produced 1892-1945. No built 1,007,608. Specifications. Caliber. .32 to 20 Winchester. .38 to 40 Winchester. .44 to 40 Winchester. .25 to 20 Winchester. .218B, in late production. Action lever action. Feed system 15 round tube magazine.
Please subscribe and thanks for watching.